One secret from the past threatens to blow the square wide open in the week of Monday 9th to 12th February 2026, and not everyone's ready for what's coming. Mark and Ravi cross paths in a way that could turn risky fast, while Nugget's diagnosis sends shockwaves through the family. Jake Moon's surprise return drags Zoe back into a dark chapter, with Chrissy and a long-buried murder back in the spotlight. Add in B making another sneaky move and a shock kiss nobody saw coming, and it's a seriously tense few days in Walford. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any EastEnders spoilers and updates.
Jake Moon attempts to lure Chrissy Watts back to Walford. Zoe's day takes a proper turn when she's told she's got a visitor, only to discover it's Jake standing there full of questions and clearly still carrying a lot of unresolved stuff. He's desperate to know what really happened to Anthony at Christmas and whether Chrissy had a hand in it. But it quickly becomes clear he's been in the dark about just how far things went. When Zoe explains the truth, Jake's reaction says it all. Whatever feelings he had left for Chrissy seem to drain away, and he makes it clear he wants nothing more to do with her. The problem is, Zoe's clinging to the hope that Jake could be the one person to help her clear a name, and when he refuses, you can feel the panic set in. It's the kind of moment where viewers will be shouting at the telly because you can see how close she is to losing any chance of proving her innocence. Things don't calm down for long either, as Kat and Vicky go into full damage control mode, convinced Jake might be Zoe's last lifeline. Their attempts to track him down feel desperate but understandable, and it all leads to that emotional reunion with Alfie that longtime fans will absolutely feel in the chest. Alfie's clearly overwhelmed seeing his cousin again, and Jake agreeing to stay the night opens the door to all sorts of unfinished business in the square. Once Phil gets involved and starts handing out blunt advice, you know it's serious. And Jake sending a message to Chrissy feels like the match being dropped near petrol. If she does come back, this could really kick off a whole new wave of drama. And if she doesn't, that silence might be just as telling. Either way, viewers will definitely have plenty to say about where this is heading next.
Mark Fowler and Ravi Gulati finally meet. Mark's return's already laced with tension, but what really makes this storyline unsettling is how close he gets to the truth without realising it. He's convinced his life was blown apart because someone grassed him up, and he's quietly trying to figure out who that informant might be. The irony, of course, is that he ends up crossing paths with Ravi, the very person who's been feeding the police to save his own skin. Ravi has no clue what Mark's been through, and watching the two of them strike up a bit of a bond feels seriously uncomfortable, knowing what's bubbling under the surface. It's one of those situations where viewers can see the disaster coming a mile off, and you just know this could really kick off drama when the truth finally lands. As if that wasn't heavy enough, everything comes crashing down for Ravi when Nugget suddenly has a seizure, leading to a devastating diagnosis of epilepsy. Ravi's guilt is written all over him, especially as he starts questioning whether his own dodgy choices have somehow led them here. While Priya and Ravi try to process what this means for Nugget's future, Ravi clearly can't cope and heads out drinking, which only throws him back into Mark's orbit again. When they step in to protect Chelsea, it weirdly seals this uneasy connection between them, making Mark trust Ravi even more. Mark opening up about hunting down an informant, completely unaware he's standing next to him, is classic EastEnders tension. And with Priya now learning the truth about Ravi and the police, it feels like everything's on the brink of exploding.
There's a lot of quiet emotion wrapped up in what's coming next for Lexi, especially after everything she's already been through this past year. Finding out about Callum's affair really knocked her trust, and you get the sense that she's still trying to work out where she fits now. With a big life change on the horizon, it feels like she's being asked to grow up very quickly, and viewers will definitely feel for her. Lexi's always been a tough little character, but even so, this could stir up some real anxiety, especially with Ben already stretched thin and not always seeing how much she's struggling. At the same time, Callum's worry starts shifting towards Phil, who's clearly buckling under the pressure of caring for Nigel. Phil's never been great at admitting when he's overwhelmed, so watching him quietly unravel is pretty hard to ignore. Callum stepping in and trying to pull the family together feels well-intentioned, but knowing the Mitchells, that kind of group support doesn't always go smoothly. There's a sense that emotions could spill over fast once everyone's in the same room, and it might force a few uncomfortable conversations that have been dodged for far too long. Bea Pollard twists the knife with Honey Mitchell. Billy's clearly in panic mode this week, and you can't really blame him. With Honey losing a job, the money worries start creeping in fast, and his instinct is to keep things simple and ask her to swallow her pride and beg for the job back. Honey's torn, though, especially with Bea in her ear telling her she's owed more after that workplace injury. It's one of those moments where you can see how easily things spiral, because what starts as standing up for yourself quickly turns into a full-blown standoff. Suki absolutely hitting the roof and firing them both just pours petrol on the situation, and Bea spinning the story to Vinny makes it feel like this is only going to get messier. Viewers will definitely have opinions on whether Honey should have listened to Billy or backed herself. And just when you think Bea might rein it in, she somehow manages to make things even worse. Her taking offence at over Peacock Palace feels classic Bea, half misunderstanding, half drama-seeking, and you can almost hear the groans from the audience. Honey offering the chance to house-sit while the Mitchells go away sounds kind on the surface, but it also feels like a massive risk. Letting Bea loose in someone else's home never ends quietly, and you get the sense she'll see it as an opportunity rather than a favour. This could really kick off a whole new round of chaos, and knowing Walford, Bea won't be keeping her head down for long.
Linda Carter is emotions are all over the place next week, and it's easy to see why. Her fears about Ollie being bullied again bring back a lot of old trauma, and when Max steps in offering to take the kids out, it feels like a lifeline at just the right moment. That shared concern pulls them closer than either of them probably planned, but things get really messy when Max realises Louis is actually the one causing Ollie's distress. Him choosing to deal with it quietly and keep Linda in the dark is a huge decision, and you can tell it's going to sit heavily on him. Viewers will definitely be split on whether he did the right thing, especially knowing how fiercely Linda protects her kids. What makes it even more explosive is the fallout at school, with Louis lashing out and Max forced into a showdown with Lauren and Peter, who were adamant their son wouldn't behave like that. The tension there feels painfully realistic, and the fact Bea overhears Max insisting Linda mustn't find out is a massive red flag. By the time Linda and Max end up alone later that night, the air is thick with unfinished business and unspoken guilt, and when she leans in for a kiss, it feels less romantic and more dangerous. If Max gives in, this could really kick off drama on all fronts, and even if he doesn't, the secret he's sitting on is bound to blow sooner rather than later.